What should I say or do if I discover my wife in the act of cheating on me? We'll finally get around to talking about it tomorrow. Advice. I'm 37 years old, have been married for 13 years, and have one child who is 8 years old. There have been times when I have had reservations about my wife's overt flirtation with her coworker. The previous few months, I've been secretly monitoring her Instagram direct messages, and they've been speaking a few times a week, but nothing specific and totally incriminating had ever been discussed, so I wasn't comfortable questioning her about it until I had evidence. I was afraid it was only my paranoia and anxiety. She did, however, often delete her direct messages with him, which made me worry if there had been a plainly adulterous DM exchanged that she promptly deleted as a precaution. In the aftermath, I felt nervous and concerned, but still without evidence. So, I'd been arranging a men's vacation for a few months when I checked her DM the night before I left and discovered some messages that had been sent only that night that made it very plain that there were plans to meet while I was away. The first night I was gone, I checked her Instagram and found that they were chatting at that exact moment, and it was providing complete and utter confirmation that I hadn't been skeptical the whole time. I immediately phoned her and confronted her, informing her that I had been listening in on their conversation and had learned everything. In the end, after a few hours of conversation, I decided that I would not cut my trip short since I wanted to be away from her until I could sort out my ideas and choices. So I've been away for 3 days, contemplating everything, but I'll be back home the next day, which means I'll finally have the opportunity to see her face to face for the first time, and we'll have to figure it all out together. While I've been gone, we've spoken on the phone twice, besides the first night. She was imprecise in both conversations, since she has said that she prefers to discuss this subject in person rather than over the phone. As a result, I'm not really clear what they've accomplished so far. While she was in the middle of her session, I called her and asked her what she'd done, how long it had been going on, how many people were involved, and so on, and she first refused to answer a single question, stating she only wanted to handle the situation face-to-face. In the end, she maintained that they only spoke through Instagram and never in person, but I had my concerns based on texts I read a month earlier that seemed to suggest that they had certainly met up after work on a particular day. Upon catching her 2 days after I caught her, I called her and explained that when I returned home, I requested that she tell me the truth, the whole truth, that I would not accept a trickle truth scenario in which I learn a little more in 2 weeks, and then more in 2 months, and then more in 6 months, and so on. If she had the audacity to do that to me, she had crossed a line, and I would have no more dealings with her. So she should be aware that I expect her to be completely honest with me when we meet tomorrow. As a result, I can see a situation in which I discover the following day that it was more than simply that took place. If she doesn't confess, it's likely that she's telling the truth, and if I find out otherwise, I'll leave her immediately. In the 2 brief conversations we've had so far, she's shown real sorrow and wept during the conversations. 3 days have passed with no distractions from what she has been doing. Fortunately, I have been able to spend time with my friends and talk with them, which has provided some relief from the stress of the situation. She vows to be completely honest. She professes her want to be with me. She conveys her remorse. She also states that she is over him, and that it was never about the feelings, but rather about the excitement and rush of it all, and nothing about connecting with him as a true crush or anything like that. Please accept my apologies for my lengthy ramble. Basically, I'm thinking about what I should do when we meet up again tomorrow. I'd want to be prepared. I have a 9-hour travel ahead of me, so I need to plan and think about it thoroughly. Which of the following methods do you use to ensure that you are obtaining the truth? What can I do to ensure that I maintain control and that I am the one making the choices in my business? What is the best way for me to approach this in order to find out as much as possible as rapidly as possible about this situation? Thank you in advance for your cooperation. They occurred on Thursday night, and the conversation that took place during the was about what they were going to do on Friday night. I suppose I should explain. I believe that by calling her on Thursday, while she was in midst of her spree, I was able to avert the Friday hookup that would have happened otherwise. Given the fact that I was 9 hours away and didn't have many other options, I feel that my choice to do what I did and in the manner in which I did it was the appropriate one. If she hadn't already had relations with him, I would have intervened and stopped it, which is a good thing, even if you think I weakened my position, which I do not believe I did. Yes, she's had enough time to fabricate a story and develop a strategy. Or, to put it another way, She's had 4 days of constant sorrow, humiliation, and the opportunity to rethink the choices she was about to make. I won't find out which road she took until the next day. The knowledge I have from previous conversations will be used to indicate that I know more than she believes, and that she'd better be honest with herself or face the consequences of her actions. Update: first and foremost, I had no idea that my post from a few days ago would elicit such a strong response and spark such a heated argument. To react to everyone individually would have been impossible given the volume of responses, so I'll say it here. Thank you for taking the time to share your thoughts and ideas with us. As I prepared for the meeting, I read them aloud and thought about what they said. So, once again, thank you very much. It seems that what I'm about to tell you will make you happy, since you'll know you were accurate, that the wife had an affair with another man and had confessed. Congratulations, you have a lot of intelligence. I was the stupid fool who fell for the ruse. They first started ******ing approximately 4.5 months ago and haven't stopped. She said that it occurred around once a week. The incident, she maintains, took place just at our house, on my couch, and in our spare bedroom. She believes it was all about in the first place. The reason, according to her, is that she wanted to have relations with someone other than me. We were virgins when we married. It is her allegation that she liked the encounter, but had no feelings for him, and that he was nothing more than a boy who used her in the same way that she used him. According to her, she got disinterested in it due to the fact that he dictated it only in the afternoons after work, and that was always the same time every day. She asserts that they never chatted or flirted with one another at work. It was always done via the Instagram platform. The reason for her resignation, she maintains, was because she was sad and guilty about what she was doing, and that it was not fulfilling emotionally, which was never a goal, and that the physical component was causing her agony. Therefore, she did not want to continue. She never explicitly told him she was done, but she started ghosting him on Instagram for a few weeks at a time, and she believes he began to get the picture as to what she was thinking. She said that her planned Friday fest while I was gone was an attempt to test the relationship, to see whether he was willing to do things on her terms for a change, rather than strictly on his terms all the time, for example in the evening, not just a 30-minute afternoon quickie. She claims she didn't expect him to show up the next day, and that if he didn't, she'd know where they were and be free to put a halt to their summer romance. I didn't anticipate him to show up the next day, she says. She maintains that she has finally revealed everything to me and that there would be no more trickle revealing in the future. She indicates a wish for us to continue in our current relationship. She swears she will never do it again. She has said that she will seek counseling. She had a lot to say, and she said it well. How much of it is factual and how much of it is fiction is a source of confusion for me. As I tried to process the information, I was mostly in a stupor position, on face with a difficult decision right now, and it's going to take me a long time to figure it all out logically. Now, I'm working to clear my thoughts so that I can think clearly about what I do in the future. Are there any of you who have been through this who received medication? My mental health is a source of worry for me. A lack of sleep. I had 2 completely sleepless nights in the previous 5 nights, and a total of 16 hours of sleep the night before, has me anxious about months and years of near constant anxiety and sorrow. And this was before I realized the full extent of the reality. I've never been prescribed any medication, so I'm not sure whether it will help, or if it's a good idea to look at medications as a potential treatment option for my condition. I'm completely dazed. I'm lost on what to do. I'm aware that I'm not alone, and that my marriage is not alone, and that many of you have been in my shoes. However, our marriage is one of a kind in my opinion. That's all I've ever known throughout my whole life. It means a great deal to me. It's tough for me to accept the fact that it has to come to a close. I'm not ready for it to come to an end yet. But I'll never be the same after this experience. She is an important element of my identity. I'm at a loss as to how to get her out of my brain, and I'll have a gaping hole in my heart when it happens. I'm a natural forgiver, lover, empathizer, and deeply felt person who can't help but feel everything. I'm scared that as a consequence of this, I'll make mistakes and forget to include myself into the equation altogether. Is it possible that I may come to regret not giving her another chance? Are there any chances that I'll come to regret striving to make things work? There's still a possibility that my life will turn out the way I hoped it would. Whether I leave her out or not, there will be years of battle ahead of me. Whatever the case, my world has been shattered. I'm not sure how to go about picking up the pieces or where to begin putting them back together. 1. Improvement. The therapist is primarily concerned with the things we can do to make each other feel loved and respected, as well as with how to establish a successful marriage. However, despite the fact that we had a very nice marriage before to this, there was still an affair. Even though we're on our own, we're doing very well, attempting to keep open communication, checking in, and physical touch, both comfort and fuel, as well as taking the time to be with one another and listen to one another. So I'm not sure what I'm hoping to get from therapy, but I'm certain that I'll benefit from it in some way. I'm at a loss for what to say, what to bring up, or what to inquire about. I'm completely stumped. The therapist doesn't seem to be really interested with the affair or the circumstances surrounding it. Instead, she seems to be mainly concerned with mending us, which I don't feel is what I need at this point. The dream occurred a few weeks after the incident, and it depicted me as a customer at a store, approaching the service desk, and the clerk asking, "What can I assist you with?" After that, I attempted to answer, but everything that came out of my mouth was gibberish. She expressed herself in a certain way. "Please accept my apologies." What was it, exactly? How may I be of use to you? And I reacted once again, this time with more meaningless rambling. As a result, I felt ashamed and decided to leave. In real life, I'm experiencing the same emotions. I'm aware that I need help, but I'm at a loss as to what to say or how to get it. What have you done throughout your therapy that has been beneficial to you? What questions have you raised? What conclusions have you reached? And what recommendations do you have for me are all things I'd want to know.